Welcome to Pages and Pods. Today, we're diving into Rudolf Steiner's understanding of elemental beings, those hidden intelligences that weave nature's life forces. Steiner's insight into these beings draws from two main sources. The first is Paracelsus, the 16th century physician and mystic who gave unique names to the four elemental types: gnomes, undines, sylphs, and salamanders, and described them as real, living creatures, but without immortal souls. The second is Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, whose delicate empiricism taught Steiner how to perceive nature not as a dead mechanism, but as a living, ensouled process. In Steiner's understanding, elemental beings are not guardians of static forms, but companions to the living gestures of the world soul. Steiner understood that nature's forms are never fixed, but are moments in a continuous metamorphosis. What we call a forest, a waterfall, or even a single flower is not a permanent thing, but a still frame and a flowing gesture, an outward expression of an inner living archetype. The elemental beings move within this stream of becoming. Gnomes are there as rock becomes soil, as roots weave new patterns into the earth, never clinging to the mineral form itself, but to its transformation. Undines follow the fluid gesture of water as it shapes the land and rises through plant and cloud, knowing that the lake or the river of today will one day be another form entirely. Sylphs move with the breathing of the air, the seasonal rhythms, and the shifting fragrances, all part of an endless change. Salamanders kindle the spark of ripening and decay, tending warmth as it becomes fruit, then seed, then new life. To mistake any of these stages for permanence is to misunderstand both nature and the beings that serve her. The elementals are not tied to the fixed image we carry in our minds. They are tied to the movement, to the transformation. In this way, they participate in the very truth Goethe glimpsed, that the archetype is not a frozen ideal, but a living gesture of the world soul, moving through time towards its next form. In Steiner's cosmology, elemental beings have a place in the cosmic evolution of humanity. Our Earth is only one stage of existence. Before Earth was old Saturn, old Sun, old Moon. Following our evolution will be new Jupiter, new Venus, and Vulcan. Elementals are bound to the Earth's life body, but unlike us, they have no I to carry them forward. Their existence depends on their element. Gnomes in the earth, undines in the water, sylphs in the air, and salamanders in the fire. Their relationship to humanity is one of mutual need. They help maintain the processes we rely on: plant growth, weather, mineral balance, yet they look to humans for something they lack: the seed of an immortal soul. When they enter into our sphere of love, creativity, and moral will, they share in our spiritual destiny. Without that link, they will dissolve when their element transforms in the next planetary stage, New Jupiter. They also stand in a greater hierarchy. Angels guide individual human beings, archive direct epochs of civilization, but elemental beings work under these higher intelligences to carry out nature's daily miracles. Yet there is another force at work, Ahriman, the spiritual being of hardening and mechanization. It seeks to bind elementals into subnatural technological realms, severing them from humanity and higher evolution. In our age, many elemental beings are at risk of being captured into our harmonic trappings, the mechanization of agriculture, the urbanization of our environment, and humanity's alienation from nature. The elemental beings of Earth, undines, sylphs, salamanders, and gnomes, are, as Rudolf Steiner tells us, beings left behind from earlier stages of cosmic evolution. They were not yet ready for the human path, so they took refuge in the elements themselves, each finding a home in a different realm of nature. They live alongside us, shaping the living processes of the world, even though most of us pass our days unaware of their presence. Where will they go when the earth transforms? The undines dwell within water, guiding its flow and lending form to its movement. They are the quiet sculptors of streams, the rhythm in the tides, and the lifeblood that rises through the stems of plants. When the age of new Jupiter arrives, physical water will pass away, becoming subtler, etheric sea of light. Only those undines who have touched the moral warmth and love of human beings will find themselves able to live in that higher ocean. The rest will vanish with the waters of the earth. The sylphs ride the currents of the air, weaving light into color, scent into blossom, and sound into the whisper of leaves. They carry inspiration and thought from the angels into the world below, moving unseen through the winds. But air too will transform on new Jupiter, becoming an even finer, more spiritual medium. The sylphs who have joined themselves to human truth-seeking will rise into those new currents, while those bound only to the atmosphere of earth will pass away with it. The salamanders, beings of fire and warmth, quicken the ripening of fruit, stir the inner heat of seeds, and animate transformation wherever it occurs. On New Jupiter, warmth will be no mere temperature, but the radiant glow of spiritual will. Only those salamanders who have united with the creative passion of humanity will blaze on in that new element. The rest will fade with the last embers of earth. And deep below, the gnomes, keepers of stone and soil, hold the memory of the earth in crystal and mineral. They speak to the roots, guarding the solid foundations of life. But on New Jupiter, all mineral form will dissolve into living formative forces. Those gnomes who have joined with human reverence for truth will awaken as shapers of the new world. The others will crumble away with the vanishing of the ground they once called home. And if you ever see an elemental being, Steiner would say, meet it with moral warmth. Resist the impulse to capture or command. Instead, offer gratitude. Recognize that it stands in the same great stream of becoming that carries you, and that in some mysterious way, your destiny and theirs may be entwined. This is Pages and Pods. Click the like button, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Until next time, find time to walk through a garden or a park full of flowers, touch a tree, and see if it touches you back.